I've got a $9.99 Zinfandel from Costco. How will it compare to more expensive examples? Examples are like 50 bucks. We'll see when we taste them blind. Zinfandel is the second most planted red wine grape in California, right behind Cabernet Sauvignon. There's about 20,000 hectares of vineyards of Zinfandel planted in California, believed to have been brought by missionaries or immigrants to California around the 1850s. Across the pond in Puglia in the south of Italy, it's known as Primitivo. The first mentions of the grape are about 1799 from what I can see. There's about 8,000 hectares of it planted in Italy. Usually you'll see those wines labeled as Primitivo di Mendoria. Oftentimes they have quite a bit of residual sugar, so they're big, round, and smooth. It's what people like, although you'll also see ones named Gioia de Col, which are some of my favorites, higher elevation, a little more acidity. However, the grape has origins on the Dalmatian coast in Croatia and Montenegro. In the early 2000s, now retired UC Davis professor Carol Meredith led a team of local researchers to find the origins. They found it in the Dalmatian coast. They found just 7 or 9 vines. Those vines were a genetic match in Croatia. It's known locally as Sorianic Kastelinski or Tribidrag. The earliest mentions of Tribidrag in the Dalmatian coast go back to the 16th century. However, down south in Montenegro, which is right on the border of Croatia, they call it Kratosia, and they're claiming now that maybe Kratosia is the original name of Zinfandel, whatever. I know that story really well because when I wrote my Croatian wine book, I actually talked to Carol Meredith. She was really generous with her time. I don't have a Dalmatian or a Montenegrin example here today because they're not readily available. And just for those of you that don't know, some people are like, Zinfandel? I thought that was a white grape. That stuff you see labeled as white Zinfandel was actually a mistake where fermentation didn't go all the way through. The grapes were weak in color. That's why it was a little bit sweet and it became really popular. But Zinfandel, yes, it's a red wine grape. Zinfandel, when they're cheap, can just be plummy and simple. When they're at the high end, like the blends that Ridge makes, I think they can be really complex. They can have these brambly, almost garrigy flavors. Really good examples to me can taste like Chateauneuf de Pape, a wine that you know I really enjoy. Enough with that. Let's see if a $9.99 red Costco wine can compete with some serious examples. Going back to my Zalto Universal glass, I feel a little bit like a wine geek or maybe even a wine snob, what someone would say when you're tasting a $9.99 wine out of an $80 glass. But hey, I just wanted to use it. I have a link in the description box if you want to check it out. It helps the channel if you purchase, so thanks a lot. Once again, I knew what all 3 of these wines were. I just Coravend them and had somebody mix them up for me. Let's get this party started with wine number 1. I definitely get some vanilla coming out of the glass from the oak usage. I get a lot of wild raspberry, some cherry type notes. Sometimes I look for blueberry in good Zinfandel. I don't find it here. I've got like dry parchment. This really reminds me of some Mourvedre, some Mataro that you get out of Humia or even Australia. Real brambly nose. Oh, a little bit of raspberry jam comes out. These Zinfandels can usually be high in alcohol. Wine 1 is super generous. Just rich, real soft mouthfeel. It's spicy on the back end. Good Zinfandel can be spicy. This is impressive. Honestly, that's super impressive. Like more of a Humilla or some other wines from the south of Spain. Let's go on to wine 2 here. It's an impressive wine to start. Wine number 2. Wine 2 smells quite a bit sweeter. I mean, what I mean, it doesn't have as much depth as wine 1. I definitely smell raspberry type flavors. I definitely smell strawberry jam. I definitely get some oak. You know, it's starting to get a little prettier. Let me do a little trick. If you want to reset your palate, if you smell your skin, it kind of resets your palate. But this is just a lot of fruit. Doesn't have the nuances I liked in wine 1. Rich, smooth mouthfeel. I think a lot of people that want to spend the money for Napa cabs could find more value in Zinfandels. I know Zinfandels are starting to have a little bit more of a resurgence because they can be serious, they can be generous, and everybody's going to like them. I have to say, it doesn't have the complexity of wine 1, but it's pretty good wine. The Costco wine, I do know what it is. I have tasted it before in the past. In the past, I've always thought it was really good value for money. So let's go on to wine 3 here. Wine 3 is even bigger than wine 2. This is like blackberry jam, like black raspberry. A little bit of spice, a little bit of vanilla. I get just a touch of sage, just a little bit, but this is dense, man. Let's give this a taste. These Zins usually are no shortage of color. I have to say, this is not my style of wine. It's a little bit bigger, but I think a lot of people are really going to like it. It's so fruit intense. It's dry. It's so fruit intense. There are some big time tans, but you get the spike of intensity in the mid palate. Kind of reminds me of young Napa Cabernet in that regard, that little spike of intensity. So I think it's good. Is it my style of wine? It's not my style of wine, but I do think it's super high quality. I think 2 and 3 are the most crowd pleasing. 1 is more to my taste. You ready for the reveal? If you like this content, I would like you to consider becoming a channel member. I have several tiers, but in the Grand Reserve tier, I have a monthly live hangout tasting where we talk shop, share wines. It's really difficult to find family and friends that are into wine like you and I are, and that's what this community is. There are perks for other members too, and it supports the work I do here, so thank you. Let's reveal this. I work retail part-time, and one guy at my shop has worked retail for over 30 years, and he knows wine, but he loves Zinfandel, loves it to death. And he gets so passionate about it. So I'm going to give him a chance to taste these wines, do what I can to help out fellow wine geeks. Let's go here. Wine number 2. The Costco wine, whatever it is, did super well. I did a video last week about a Costco Chateauneuf de Pape from Kirkland. It didn't show as well as the other GSMs. It was still pretty solid. I think the Costco wine here at $9.99 is good value for money, regardless of what it is. Let's start with 2. Like 2 and 3 were generous and really fruity. However, I wanted a little more nuance than I saw in wine number 1. I gave number 2 89 points. I thought it was very good. Let's see if it's Costco or if we're going to get an upset here. We're not. My goodness. And this is why we do it. This is the Quivira Vineyards Black Boar Zinfandel 2021. This comes in at $49 from Sonoma County. Quivira is a really nice producer. Really nice producer. I've enjoyed their Sauvignon Blancs in the past. I've never tasted their Zin before, and I am shocked. So we are going to have an upset here. So there is going to be a good value for money Costco wine in the bunch here. Sonoma County, especially Dry Creek, known for old Zinfandels. And then Ridge, they source a lot of their old vine Zin from Geyserville. You also get in Lodi, over inland, some excellent Zinfandels as well. And $49, I thought that was really, really good wine. Maybe it's going to taste better with time, but that's how it showed blind. Sorry, that's how it is. Number 3. It's had simple for me on the nose, but on the palate, you get the spike of intensity. You're like, wow, this is a serious wine. I liked 1 better, but 2 I thought was very good. 3 I thought was very good. I gave it 91 points. This is the Masseria Veli. This is the Zalto Primitivo 2020. This is the MLV, $49. A high-end Primitivo. Thought it was good. I think this has just a touch of Cabernet Sauvignon blended into it, so you do get a little bit of a spike of intensity in the back end. And $49, it's super good. Masseria Veli, really interesting property. I've been there before. It was started by the old owners of Avignonesi, who sold out a very famous Tuscan property that makes good Vino Nobile de Montepulciano. I think Masseria Veli does everything great, especially their Verdeca. Their white wine is fantastic. They also do a play on Susu Meniello, a very rare grape from Puglia. This is the first time I've tasted this MLV. I've never tasted this before. It was good, especially the spike intensity, but it didn't win. But we're going to have an upset here. I was impressed with this wine in the past. I can't believe this. So I've tasted this. It was generous, soft mouthfeel. I like the spicy, had a lot of nuances. I gave wine number 1 93 plus points. And I bought this wine for this tasting. This is the Bogle Family Vineyards Old Vine Zinfandel 2022 from California. Comes in at $9.99. This is incredibly complex for the money. And once again, it goes to show when you do blind tastings, it's all about what's in the glass. I know Bogle, I don't think they've sold out to a big company. I still think they're family owned. And I got to give kudos to Bogle at $9.99 to provide a wine that I liked more. You know, Zinfandel's not my favorite red wine grape in the world, but This is how it showed. This is shocking. Have you, tell me, have you ever done blind tastings like this before where the cheaper wine won out? What do you think of Zinfandel, Bogle, any of these other producers? I'd love to hear. Drop it in the comments below.